Been here for over 40 years. It's been the same for 40 years, and the remodeling could be a good thing for our community.
The Barrow County School Board is responding to concerns about the student code of conduct in light of a fight between two students. The University of Georgia's women's basketball team took part in a viral dance challenge against other women's basketball teams across the country.
This is Northeast Georgia's only local source for TV news. From the Grady College at the University of Georgia, this is Grady Newsource.
Welcome to Grady Newsource. I'm Katie Anderson.
And I'm Peyton Lewis with weather.
Bethel Midtown Village Apartments, a low-income complex, may see a multi-million-dollar improvement in 2020. Athens-Clarke County Commissioners will vote Tuesday on whether to commit $39 million to the Bethel Homes redevelopment. This money will come from the proposed affordable housing project budget of $44.5 million. This complex includes 190 units on 13 acres of area just north of downtown Athens. Many residents are saying that they are looking forward to this redevelopment.
It's been the same for 40 years, and the remodeling could be a good thing for our community.
In light of the
Residents will vote on whether or not to extend a 1% sales tax for construction projects like Bethel Homes on November 5th. Barrow County schools have been in the headlines recently for disciplinary issues. Grady Newsource reporter Jada Bowman is here with us now. Hi, Jada.
Hi, Katie. I'm at Winder Barrow High School, the location of the recent school fight. I spoke with Barrow County Sheriff Judd Smith and Assistant Superintendent Dr. Ken Green about what steps are being taken.
Dr. Chris McMichael addresses disciplinary actions that will be taken in the event of violence, vaping, and bullying on school grounds. While the policy is not changing, he says that options for consequences for these actions are now more narrow than they have previously been to provide a clear and direct message that these behaviors will not be tolerated. The message states that if a student engages in a fight or bullying, high school and middle school students will be suspended with the option to attend an alternative education program for at least a semester.
Sheriff Smith shared with me that his resource officers will not be making any changes in their approach, and he is hopeful that the school's disciplinary action will be effective. Sheriff Judd Smith from Barrow County says that he agrees with the disciplinary plan of action that the Barrow County school system outlines in their most recent statement.
I agree with what they're doing. I think it's a case-by-case scenario on what the situation is. A lot of the flack that they've gotten from the parents is like, well, if a child's being bullied, that's been a key word and a buzzword for years.
Many parents took to Facebook to comment on the statement that had been released. Some expressed approval while others had concerns. Some, like Betsy Huggenberg, were concerned that if a student stood up for themselves against a bully, they would be punished. Sheriff Smith addressed these concerns.
You're entitled to defend yourself, and in the case several weeks ago, the young lady was defending herself. But they're going to look at each one case by case, and we work with the school as the SROs are there to decide if anybody needs to be charged, and if they are, then we will.
On September 29th,
Assistant Superintendent Dr. Ken Green told us that at this time they will not be making any changes to the Code of Conduct, but they do review it every spring and may make changes as needed.
Thank you, Jada. When most think of children, motorcycles don't often come to mind. One nonprofit is using motorists to raise money for the kids and keep a challenged organization thriving. Grady Newsource reporter Wellesley Kiesel has more on the story.
dozens of motorists gathered at Cycle World of Athens to raise money for Adventure Bags, a nonprofit that provides backpacks for displaced children and teens.
It's an organization that brings smiles to kids' faces when they're in crisis.
This event marks the 8th annual Motorcycle and Jeep Ride fundraiser for the organization, and this year is particularly special for attendees. 2019 brought loss and destruction to the volunteer-led organization. Adventure Bag's headquarters caught fire in March, burning the front half of the building and destroying 450 book bags. 1 month later, Founder and former President Debbie Gorey was diagnosed with stage 4 lung cancer and passed away in June. Despite the challenging year Adventure Bags has had, co-founder and Gorey's daughter Tracy McMahon says the tragedies have made the organization stronger.
So it definitely put a halt in our year, but I think in the end it's become a bigger blessing.
Adventure Bags hopes to continue to expand and eventually hire a full-time employee. Their next fundraiser will be held on October 12th at Fats Cafe in Winder. For more information on the organization, visit adventurebags.org. Athens was full of festivities this weekend, including Athens Pride and Oktoberfest. What did these celebrations mean to the community? Grady Newsource reporters Paige Watkins and Bailey Walker have more.
Hi, I'm Peter, and there's nothing I love more than sharing vegetables with my friends.
Come on in! Help yourself to anything.
That's why we give our food the utmost respect it deserves. Did you know there are simple steps we can all take to help save food? You can cook it, store it, even share it. Just don't waste it. Because when it comes to food, better ache than never. To learn more, visit savethefood.com.
You think getting dumped by text is harsh? Try getting dumped by a tennis ball. My ex-owner drove me out to the woods, yelled fetch, and by the time I brought the ball back, he was gone. Yeah, I was pissed. But the folks at the shelter helped me let go of my anger. I learned coping skills, like taking it to the hole. Boom! Now I'm ready to fetch again. But how about I throw and you run and get it?
Attention travelers, next Tuesday a major power outage will cause complete chaos throughout the city. Food, water, and phone service will be in short supply. There will likely be panic citywide. Stand clear of the closing doors, please.
Disasters don't plan ahead. You can. Talk to your loved ones about how you're going to be ready in an emergency. Don't wait. Communicate.
Everybody has a dream. Mine was to see the ocean. And with a little help, I made it.
Hundreds of people made their way to downtown Athens this weekend for the annual LGBTQ+ Pride event. Grady Newsource reporter Paige Watkins explains why this year's parade was bigger than ever.
Rainbow flags, balloons, face paint, Kona ice, and sidewalk chalk, all to commemorate the 9th annual Athens Pride Festival. Athens Pride Week concluded with a celebration this Sunday where people packed the streets to celebrate the 50th anniversary of the Stonewall Uprising, which sparked the gay rights movement. Starting from a small picnic in Lay Park, it expanded to 2 blocks of downtown this year. Athens Pride board member Cameron Harrelson says the growth is a reason to celebrate.
And I think it's not only a testament to how hard this organization and our community has worked to be accepted, but it's also a testament to our changing mindset in our country.
Spreading across more space added vendors on West Washington Street and inflatables up Hull Street. In addition to this growth in size, Athens Pride organizers also put emphasis on highlighting local talent.
So for the first time ever, we're incorporating live performances of bands.
The performances consisted of spoken word, music, and a drag show. Athens musical artist Tyler Hanner, known as Retro Thief, was most excited for his parents being in the crowd and playing at the event.
I've been coming here for about 3 years, and I am privileged to, actually take the stage this time, and I am loving every minute.
The event brought in spectators outside of Athens like Hanner's parents. Darnell McAlpin of Atlanta goes to Atlanta Pride every year, but says it's his first time to the Athens Festival.
I have a friend performing today, so I actually came all the way from Atlanta to see him perform. It's his first kind of bigger event, so I'm really excited to support him.
Also in attendance was Kelly White, traveling from Social Circle, Georgia, to join in on the local festivities, bringing her daughter and daughter's girlfriend.
We all deserve to be loved, and we all matter.
White's cheerful attire matches her smile as she points to her daughter, Jade Ford, the one who inspired her outfit.
Her being who she is, and because I'm a proud mom, I'm proud.
Right across town, the Pride Party didn't stop. Academia Brewing Company hosted the first annual Athtoberfest and celebrated gay pride and pride in the Athens community at the same time. Grady Newsource reporter Bailey Walker has more.
Downtown Athens has always been the city's hub, but Donnie Malone's love for all of Athens, not just the popular downtown area, made him want to throw a festival that celebrated this diverse city. So he started Athtoberfest at Academia Brewing Company.
So our tagline is for the love of the West Side, and so it's kind of cool to have a place where people can kind of come on the side of town away from downtown and everywhere else and realize that Athens is beautiful everywhere.
The 3-day festival wrapped up yesterday and was full of beer, food, and music.
It was just a drunk idea we came up with at 3 a.m. a couple months ago.
Not only did it celebrate a different side of town, it brought together people of different ages. Bryson Crathers is a high school student in Oglethorpe County and played his very first gig at Athtoberfest.
Like the only thing I've played at is like talent shows and like concerts and stuff. But yeah, it was really fun.
The festival also drew in people with all different music tastes.
There was a moment yesterday where we had hip hop playing on the outside stage and Beast Mode, like a black thrash metal band, playing inside. And walking around between the two was insane.
And it happened to fall on the same day as Athens Gay Pride event.
They're celebrating downtown and also over here.
And they're not just celebrating. Academia is also donating to Athens Queer Collective to help the cause.
A portion of proceeds and a portion of our tips as well.
Donnie says that Athtoberfest wasn't about making money.
It's more important to make things memorable and to give a memorable experience. And I feel like we 100% executed in that.
Bailey Walker, Grady Newsource.
Donnie, they hope to bring back Athtoberfest next year and make it even bigger with more musical performances and vendors.
It's the last day of September, which means it's the final day of Alzheimer's Awareness Month. Coming up, we'll take a visual look at what happens within the brain of people with Alzheimer's. Stay tuned.
We'd do anything for kids. Yet 1 in 6 children in the U.S. struggle with hunger. Help end childhood hunger near you. Learn how at feedingamerica.org.
Start a story. Adopt at theshelterpetproject.org.
I love
Can we get strawberries?
Okay.
The Center for Disease Control confirmed over 800 cases of lung injury related to vaping and e-cigarettes. They also reported at least 12 deaths in 10 states. The CDC reported that products containing THC, the main psychoactive compound in marijuana, are playing a role in the outbreak. Locally, this has become an issue. The Northeast Georgia Regional Task Force seized over 2,300 homemade vape cartridges that could be tainted with THC or other chemicals. Athens police say the seized cartridges could be worth over $70,000 based on street value. The CDC recommends that during this investigation, e-cigarette users refrain from using these products, especially those containing THC. They also suggest to only buy these products from the manufacturer. The UGA Center for Vaccine and Immunology has signed a contract with the National Institutes of Health to help develop a new influenza vaccine. The additional $8 million award will go towards creating a vaccine that could protect individuals from multiple strands of the virus. Over the next 7 years, the center could receive up to $130 million. Georgia has the 11th highest number of Alzheimer's cases in the United States, 150,000 in all. And this number is expected to increase by over 26% in the next 6 years. Let's switch over to reporter Isaiah Joseph at the Smartboard, who will give us an in-depth look at the disease.
Thanks, Katie. It is common for us to misplace our keys every once in a while or even forget someone's name that we just met a week ago. However, this is a frequent occurrence for people with Alzheimer's disease. In fact, this, along with challenges in problem solving, completing daily tasks, and conversing are all common signs of the illness. Alzheimer's is known as a progressive disease, which means that conditions worsen with time. But why do these conditions worsen? What takes place within the brain for this to occur? Let's take a look at the Smartboard. So right here you see that we have a healthy brain, and in a healthy brain there's 100 billion neurons. Neurons is another word for brain cells. And they basically just communicate information within each other. However, people with Alzheimer's disease, they have a disruption in the brain, and this is due to plaques and tangles within the inner workings of the brain. And the result of this is cell death, which leads to the loss of memory and the disease's other effects. And right here, we have a brain with Alzheimer's disease. And you can see there is a vast difference. For one, there's a lot of shrinkage in tissue. Right here, you see in the hippocampus region, which is really essential in our memory, there's kind of like a cavity. And that's just another result of cell death. So you can see it's less tissue right here, and that's all because of cell death, basically, and the shrinkage of the tissue. So as you can see, it's a very serious matter. Katie, back to you.
Thanks, Isaiah. While there is no cure yet, there is a way that you can be involved in the Alzheimer's solution. The Alzheimer's Association gives the opportunity to help in research, care, and support by donating at their website, www.alz.org.
I'm Peyton Lewis with your weather for today. Coming up, I'll be back in the studio to tell you a little bit about the relief we'll be getting from the heat later this week. Stay tuned. Okay, so we drowned the fire, stirred it, drowned it again, and now just feel if it's cold.
Yeah.
Cool.
Smokey just gave me a bear hug.
I know. I already posted it.
Take a look under your bed. Find stuff under there? What about jobs? No? Now try your closet. Still no jobs? Just more stuff? Well, you really have both. See, stuff is defined as household articles considered as a group. Sometimes this stuff is no longer needed. Wait, no longer needed? That can't be right. Because remember those jobs you were looking for? Those are really needed, and they're the stuff inside your stuff. Our job is to unlock those jobs, and it starts when you donate your stuff to your local Goodwill. Here's how we do it. When you donate to Goodwill, we sell your stuff to provide job training for people right here in your community. So just by teaming up with Goodwill, you help create jobs. And isn't that worth parting with the leftover keytar from your 80s cover band? Goodwill. Donate stuff, create jobs.
Maybe you can make retirement happen. After all, you made this vacation happen.
Double points with every purchase?
Cleverly merging promotions.
I love it.
Cross-referencing travel sites. And booking all your flights with those...
Vouchers. I got us bumped.
They were like, oh. But now they're like... Aloha. You aced this vacation. Now get the tips you need to get on track at aceyourretirement.org.
And now, the weather.
I'm Peyton Lewis with your Grady Newsource weather for the evening. Tonight I'll be taking you through Hurricane Lorenzo, the pollen count for this week, the decrease in humidity that we're going to see, and your 5-day forecast. So the weather tonight around dinner time will be an interesting 90 degrees with partly cloudy weather. and then it'll cool off as it gets closer to midnight. Your 5-day forecast for the week. Tomorrow will be a high of 90 degrees, a low of 68, and stay pretty consistent throughout the week. Your only exception is Saturday, with a high of 80 degrees and a low of 63. That'll be the coolest day we've seen this week. And I know it's important for all my dog fans out there. The dogs will take on Tennessee this weekend on Saturday. Kickoff is at 7:30. Now, the weather in Knoxville will be a lovely 82 degrees and sunny, with only a 4% chance of rain and winds at 5 miles per hour. Now, let's take a look at Hurricane Lorenzo. As you can see, there are other tropical storms developing around the world, but we're just focused on the ones nearing North America right now. Hurricane Lorenzo is going 105 miles per hour and is already a Category 5 storm. Now, Grady Newsource will keep you updated on any changes to Hurricane Lorenzo coming up. The pollen count for this week is very important for all of my allergy sufferers out there, and I'm sure you'll be excited to know that it's only 67 this week, with low counts in tree and grass and moderate in ragweed. So you may need to bring some tissues, but not as many as you have the past few weeks. Now, the humidity will decrease. From Tuesday, it will be 69 degrees tomorrow, or 69% tomorrow, excuse me, and will decrease throughout the week. My name is Peyton Lewis with your Grady Newsource weather.
UGA's head football coach said he can see the improvements Tennessee has made since they went against UGA last year. Coach Kirby said his team has been working too, though.
They're coaching the way they're running. They've got a good staff. They're going to push these kids, and they're getting them better. They've had a whole week to get better and improve. And I think it shows on tape.
Are your children in the right car seat for their age and size? Is the seat supposed to be forward-facing or rear-facing? Did they move to a booster seat too soon? It may be too late to check when you're on the road. Fortunately, you're on the couch. Car crashes are a leading killer of children 1 to 13. Don't think you know. Know you know.
I'm a single mother, and I was the main one working, so I never thought that I could go back to school, you know? My sister, my mother, everybody wanted to help me with my kids. I could not have gotten my diploma without my family.
Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org.
It's a beautiful day out here. Sunny today with light breezes, giving way to clouds in the afternoon. We could see some light precipitation to moderate precipitation later on, followed by powerful storm-like conditions. 90-mile-per-hour winds are expected. Authorities are asking everyone, stay indoors. Come on, that's it. Let's go.
UGA head coach Kirby Smart says players put in time and effort practicing for their game against Tennessee this weekend. Smart said Tennessee is a strong team and that their depth and physicality has improved since the last time the Dogs faced off against the Tennessee Volunteers. At the end of the day, Smart says it's all about the Dogs going in and executing their plan.
Passion and energy and enthusiasm to beat the guy across from.
Rain, snow, sleet, or complete heat, to Appalachia baseball students, it soon won't matter, during baseball practice anyway. That's because their practices are soon going to be inside this facility. Now, here you can see what it looks like, but head coach Bailey tells me that the net that they installed here can actually go all the way back. This helps so that even the most hard-hitting players can practice in here. Bailey said this was a community effort to get this facility up and running. Not only did local businesses donate supplies and money, the community found different ways to help the baseball team out.
Everything was money donations. We had people that were able to donate their particular trade skills and different things that way. So it was really a great community effort to get this dream.
You can see here there's even an area where students can play table tennis, sit on the couch, play video games, and just hang out. To get all of these different elements here, it wasn't easy, but they did manage to get a plaque to dedicate all of the people and kind of recognize those who contributed.
Have a dedication plaque on the wall just to kind of remind everybody that steps foot in there that this was a community, a total community.
This facility is for students as young as 8th grade, all the way to visiting alumni. Coach Bailey says the greatest impact is what it'll do for the students even after they leave Appalachia High.
The biggest reason why we built this is to be able to give our kids the best opportunity that they can have, to continue getting better and hopefully, achieve their dreams of, one day playing in college or, maybe hopefully at the next.
The UGA's women's basketball team showed off their moves on Twitter last night. The basketball team got almost 2,000 likes on their post, showing players like Hugh Morrison, Mallory Bates, Shania Jones, participating in the latest dance challenge where female basketball players show off a little choreography. That's all for sports. I'm Wangeshi Waroe. Back to you, Peyton.
Thank you so much for joining us, Wangeshi, and thank you all for joining us at home. For Grady Newsource, I'm Peyton Lewis.
And I'm Katie Anderson. Have a great night.
Communication at the University of Georgia, which is solely responsible for its contents. Views expressed do not represent those of the administration nor the Board of Regents at the University System of Georgia.
What to expect when you're expecting.
Like here?
A teenager.
Today, I'm going to show you how to team-proof your home. First step, hide the car keys, preferably somewhere they would never look.
Mannequin challenge.
You don't have to know it all to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will love you just the same.
Did you hear about the pony with a sore throat? He was a little horse. Can I tell you a cat joke? Just kidding. Why couldn't the Why was the basketball court all wet? Why? Because the players kept dribbling all over it. Where did cats go on vacation? New York.
Did you know parking over tall, dry grass can spark a wildfire?
Only you can prevent wildfires.
Oh. Hey guys, welcome to the post-show critique. Sorry, I gotta turn off this audio over here. Oh, Neil's got it. Okay, good show tonight. I'm gonna let Alex talk first because she has to get to Atlanta.
Okay. Hi guys.
Over there.
Hi guys. It was a really good show today. I saw you guys doing some creative things. And just a few things. Printing the rundowns was a little late today, but it's okay. It was almost on time. Also, I think that the anchors were a little late downstairs, but the packages, for the most part, were in. The only thing is naming it correctly. And I know it's like last minute, but just like naming it by the slug, you know, the package, VO. The Vosots were a really good name with the 1 and the 2, and it was a Q. That was perfect, but just like placing it in the correct folder, but everything else was pretty, on the technical side, was pretty okay.
How
And
was the rundown? Like, we had them ready at 3:30.
Yeah, I think so too.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay, cool.
I was here.
Oh, okay, cool. Oh, okay, sorry. Wrong note. Okay, cool.
All right, you good?
Yeah.
All right, thank you. Thank you, Alex. Yeah, bye. Today was really good in terms of getting things on time. Like, we were just chilling in there around like 4:30, and we were only late on like one thing, and then it came in around 4:40. So everything was good and on time today. Yay, congrats. We love that. It was a great day, very chill. I don't really have anything about you guys today. You all did really good, so congratulations. The one thing I did want to just explain at the beginning of the show, what happened, if you go back and watch it or anything, basically, not to get too technical, but something happened on our side with like the TriCaster board, and instead of like automatically taking, it just like continued to take things over and over again, and we had to like manually press buttons, and the time was off, so it was hard for us to figure out exactly how long was left in something before we could go back. So that's what happened. It was nothing with you guys. It was nothing with our director. It was nothing with a person. It was just the technology. So that's what happened with that. Other than that, I think everybody did really good. Half the show was pretty much live today, and I thought that went well. So let's try it again. Keep it up. And then you guys.
Right. Well, I think Katie, very nice. All of you, all our talent, very nice, very natural, very pleasant. All of you just were wonderful on it. And Katie, very, you're just a natural. You know, you were able to transition well from one story to another. It just at certain points, you were smiling a little bit, like tossing to Jada, where it was a kind of a serious story. So just pay attention to, I mean, it wasn't too much, but you know, and in the beginning maybe you were a little nervous, so you kept that little smile, the pleasant smile, and you kept reading things in the same way with the pleasant smile, just kind of a variation which I saw. As soon as you kind of felt more comfortable, you were looking down. It was just very natural to change, transition between different stories. You were using the pitch of your voice, the speed and altering. It was just coming very natural to you once you kind of felt confident. And remember how I told you guys when we did training and we talked about anchoring? Always assume your mic is hot and you're on camera, because your mic was hot when you tossed to Jada's package. And we heard, you know, we heard you speaking. We managed to kind of stop it, but we heard you kind of say, oh, you were like sighing with relief, you know, or something like that. And we heard that on live air. So always assume you're on live air. And because the camera can come back on you for some reason, and you always have to be very professional, because don't worry, I mean, watch the show again. There was nothing embarrassing, but you know, always kind of pay attention to what you're saying. Once you've tossed to a package, that doesn't mean that your mic is not hot, or for some reason, you know, like this happened. So just be very careful. Yeah.
Well, that still applies. We think that was Jada. It was Jada.
Somebody's voice.
It was Jada.
Yeah.
because then they had to cut out of it in there because we could hear her sighing that the live shot was over. But
Okay.
it should be applicable to everyone. If you're,
Yeah,
if you've got a
so-
mic, just don't.
Yeah, no, yeah, it wasn't you.
So,
It was Jada.
yeah, I couldn't tell who it was because it was very noisy, but, you know, always assume that, but wonderful, all of you, and, you know, I have nothing else to say, but I really think that you did a great job, and just be mindful of these things and the expression and what you say in between packages, and, you know, keeping that variation. Watch yourself and you'll see later in the show how you just relaxed and how you used your voice and how you were looking down and how, you know, you really transitioned very well from one story to another. Your tone was different. At one point you had a smile, you transitioned to a more serious story, and you had the right expression. Yeah, so very well done, all of you. I have some, you know, things that I want to talk about. How, you know, we had a show, but maybe you tell us what you learned, because I'm impressed with Marissa. She'd never produced before, and I kind of challenged her when we came in the morning, because I was watching the show stories and I saw we had too many festivals, a lot of festivities, and nothing like hard news. But I was so impressed by the two of you, how you made the hard news, how the fact that we saw that we had a lot of engagement on one story, which was multi-platform, a story that Jada and Katie had done, how well it had done on Friday, and that we could follow up on it. And so what we did, we sent Jada to do a live shot to update the story, and that became one of our leads. And then you came up with this great idea to do the Bethel Road development, which was again very, you know, Julia helped us with a soundbite. So we had the hard, you know, news to start the story. But I challenged Marissa, who'd never produced before, who didn't know exactly what the job was, and I said, so what do we have, you know, once we started talking, and everybody was saying, I did this festival, and I did that festival, and I did that festival. And so I turned to Marissa and I challenged her. I said, what's wrong with this picture? And she kind of thought about it. She immediately got it. Oh yes, we have too many festivals, you know, and she immediately got it. And then from then I just, you know, we just explained a little bit to her, you know, what producing is, and she just, I mean, again, speaking of naturals, you know, we were on time and even early. She had everything under control, and again, you guys were a great team, so I really appreciate that. But I was really impressed how you got it. I mean, you didn't even know how to create a rundown today, and, you know, see where we are just how many hours later. So very impressive, and just very impressive how the two of you managed to come up with the right idea. And then you realized, again, I challenged you, because you were going to end on Isaiah's story, to end on such a serious story. And the two of you, you know, you came up, you reordered the whole show, and it just came together so well. And so I'm really impressed, but I want to let you speak. Tell us, you know, what you learned and what your impressions are of how we did from your point of view.
Again, thank you so much, Ashlyn and Skylar. I don't know where she went,
Skylar,
but I think we all, she's at Smartboard. So I think we all did a really good job working together today and coming in prepared. We did end up moving sports to the E block, which at first seemed a little bit like it was going to be odd, but I think it worked really well because we didn't want to end on something as heavy as Alzheimer's, so I think that that went well. We did have everything in at a good time today. I'm not really sure what went wrong with your package page. When you, I don't know if it was an export thing or...
Do you want to comment now, or I can later?
No, you can say something now. Because we were missing, she had a really good stand-up that
Okay,
we ended up not having.
So stand-up, I was like most excited about it, but I did go back after I realized like it went on air without the stand-up. So one thing that I learned is even when you export and like this playhead's at the very beginning and this playhead's at the very end, even this little blue thing that's in the middle has to be at the end too, not just the playhead. So that's where that happened. So that was on my part during the export, yes.
And anyone can mess up with that. I mean, I've been messed up with that before, but it's a good lesson for everybody in the newsroom, for sure.
And I must say that both your packages, Paige and Bailey, they worked so well together, and they just kind of created a very nice picture of what had gone through, this weekend. And what I was impressed, again, the progress that you made with your packages. Your sound bites were very short. Your B-roll was very interesting, very well put together. I was really, really impressed with how I wish you had a little more time to put in more nat sound, because there was just so much happening. But I'm very impressed with the progress you've made and with the packages, setting up your sound bites, having the sound bites, just the right amount of time, and very, very well done. I really enjoyed your packages, and I really enjoyed how you worked together to present two very different aspects. And Bailey, you played off, her package and widened the picture to, a different kind of story, and yet you tied it to what she had covered. So very well done. But back to you. I just had to brag. Okay.
Yeah, I think I definitely have been anticipating something maybe going wrong with the live shot or with the smartboard, but we weren't really anticipating that, which threw us a little. But I think we recovered pretty well, which worked well. Katie, you did a great job. The readers were great. You smiled plenty, which is always good. So you did a really good job with that. The smartboard, everybody who was on smartboard did a really good job. We do need to work a little bit on positioning, because a couple times y'all were like dead center, so we couldn't really see what was going on behind you.
It's sort of awkward because like when we had the Grady Newsource logo in the background, it was GR.
You were covering the A.
And it
Yeah.
was, it was in the center. You should stand a little bit off to the side so you can see it a little bit more. Plus you want to see the pictures on the screen too. So that's why we have a smartboard.
Yeah. So I think we really should just work on really familiarizing ourselves, just everybody, with the smartboard, because at one point or another we're all going to use it, and so we need to work on that a little bit. Peyton, weather was really good. I liked the graphics. Yes. You made pollen interesting, which is always fun.
And tropical storms.
Yeah. So weather was really good. I think moving the tees outside worked really well as well. And then there were some smaller things, just like lower thirds and a couple misspellings that we caught that I think we should try to keep an eye out for, those smaller details. But aside from that, it went really well, timing-wise. And Jada, who's not here, did a really good stand-up outside, live. That was really good. So, Jada, if you're watching.
I will also point out with lav mics, always ask them to write up their shirt, even if, like, I know it's really awkward, like, to ask somebody to do it, but write up their shirt to pin it. If not, it's like this funky wire sticking out, and it's not pretty on TV. And if you want something really good for your reel, you want that lav mic to be covered, because that's one thing news directors really point out. They're like, why is that on TV? Because it's a huge wire sticking out. So, yeah.
Yeah, I think we adjusted really well. I know when we were in there, we were like, we're under, now we're over, now we're 30 minutes, or not 30 minutes, 30 seconds short, now we're a minute and a half over. So that was very confusing, but I think by having two people at the smartboard, we had a lot of wiggle room with pacing and timing, which I also think worked really well. So yeah, what did you guys think?
So when we were down there and they were doing the prompter, it was so funny because when Isaiah was going, at first he was like reading off the prompter, and it was like you knew what you wanted to say, and you started going, and then I was like, oh God, he just said this. Now I had to go, like, it was so funny because you obviously knew what you were talking about, and it seemed more natural as you went along. And like both of you did such a good job on the smartboard. We were sitting there, we were like fangirling in the corner, but I just thought it was like really good because you obviously knew what you were talking about, and it just seemed more natural, like once you got off the prompter and everything, and like, yeah, I don't remember what it was, but it was really good.
Well, yeah, I was very nervous because
you didn't show it.
Yeah,
you didn't show it
because like of course I'm a journalism major. Yeah, so like
I was so impressed.
Neurology.
I expected you to be more nervous because you were explaining such a complex thing, and you were just like smooth and
A couple times you were starting to not necessarily get technical, but you would explain the word in retrospect to like the audience who may not know what it was, and I thought that was really smart as well, because you obviously know a lot about it, you did it, but not everybody may know exactly the terminology, so that was good as well.
Like and your interaction.
Yeah, like neuron.
And your interaction with the smartboard, it just came very natural when you were pointing. It wasn't like, nobody thought that, okay, he's now making a point, I have to point to this, It was just like at the right moment where exactly you needed to, and maybe use an outline more with the
So,
the highlighter.
Yeah, I wanted to do that, and then I got nervous. I said, no, let me not do it. But next time I'll
It's
do
a brain. I don't want to mess with the brain.
It's somewhat delayed, so that's one thing that it was fine if you didn't use it because it can be a little bit pitchy. But we're still learning the smartboard.
It was very, very good. It was a complex thing, and you explained it well, and it was very impressive, all of you. Peyton also with the weather, very pleasant, very creative in the way you did everything. Just don't walk off during your 5-day forecast. You totally walked off and we're like, where is she? Don't, of course, don't try to hide the but that was the only little thing.
I just thought like you wouldn't be able to see the Tuesday if I stayed on, so I was like, I guess I'll move.
Take a look at it and see.
Okay.
I think you had some space to stay in there.
Okay.
Looked a little odd for you to but it was very well done, very creative, with the way you thought of the animation that you did with the tropical storms. I was impressed with how you changed your tone also from this very pleasant smile. When you were talking about the tropical storms, you had just the right expression.
Thank you.
And very nice transitions from one story to another. Very personable, very, very nicely done. Wangeshi also very personal, very natural. Just be careful when you were tossing to the sides again, you were standing right in front of your nice pictures and we were like, but we want to see, But when you were pointing to the net, everything, it was perfect. You were in the right spot. We could see the net. Very nice the way you ended it on showing the full video of, the dancing and very nice. It was very nice. All of you, the 4 of you, wonderful presentations. In many different ways. You have your own styles, and they were just magnificent, all of you. And Katie, very well. You led the whole show. You interacted with everyone. Very, very well done, all of you.
And we were missing a TVMMJ, which I honestly keep forgetting because everything flowed really smoothly, and everybody was coming to me with like, yeah, my package is at like 2 minutes. It's like at like 1:50. But it definitely made up for the time that we needed with Taylor not being
here.
And
we were nearly over time today,
yeah.
So that was one thing that, like, it didn't even affect us that we didn't have one TVMMJ, so it worked out really smoothly.
Anything you guys want to say? What did you learn? What did you notice?
Skylar. I think we have Skylar
Skylar.
at the smartboard for digital. Skylar?
I just want to start off and brag on the digital team. I know we were down one person today on the TV side, but digital, you really stepped up and we're a team player. It takes teamwork to make the dream work, and each of you played a vital role in the TV side and digitally. Let's show you a little bit about what went on today. Jasmine, I want to highlight you first. This video is doing really well on social. She did an interview and it was about 5 or 6 questions, but it's talking about sexual assault on campus in the first organization. She did a really good job. She's been working on it for a little while. Let's go back over here. We shared it on Instagram and Facebook, and then on Twitter. Julia. So Julia came in with a really great story this morning about a festival she went to this weekend, but since we were down, we needed an extra more newsworthy news of the day story, so we sent her out to the housing community of Bethel, and she got a quote from the mayor. She had an interview this afternoon, and she did really good grabbing some photos and helping us get this out to the public really quickly. So thank you so much, Julia. Isaiah, you made a really great graphic that we're going to share here shortly. Not only did you do that, but you were also in the broadcast, which was awesome. And then last but not least, Jada, you not only you're working on an article, you have a great graphic we're going to share here shortly on social, and you went out and did a live shot, so you just killed it. A wonderful job today. I'm very proud of all of the people who I got to work with on digital. You guys are awesome.
Thank you, Skylar. Yeah, so this is what happens when you have good managers of content who work together. The only thing that I think we learned, and I think we have to keep in mind as we look ahead to Wednesday, multi-platform works very well. And that's how we got our top story, continuing and following up on stories that are doing well. Obviously, people are interested if there's a follow-up, you know, let's pay attention to that. If we can do a follow-up, let's follow up on our star stories. And let's try to do this. Let's see how things go and try to develop further, you know, any stories that can be followed up from today or from last week. And check with your counties because you see what's trending. What's trending is Barrow County. What's trending is when we specifically focus on our community, and that really is underserved. So make sure that today or tomorrow, today they're closed, but check in with your counties, find new stories that you could possibly develop, start developing them also tomorrow, but also put in all your topics so that we are aware and see what other people are doing. And if there are too many festivals, don't pitch a festival. If you've seen, look at what other people have pitched already. So if many people have pitched one kind of story, it might not be a festival this time. It might be something else that everybody has, you know, or many people are pitching. Do not pitch that. Think of another story. Or think of a way how your story could work to complement somebody else's story. But let's all have a producer's eye also when we look at things. That's why it's so important for all of us to put, for all of you to put your stories into that template for the stories of the day, because then we can all see, and not all of you had your stories on Sunday night. I didn't see all of your stories. So that's how, you know, we avoid having too many stories on one similar kind of topic, and then we have no lead, no hard news.
Also, one thing that we can start looking at too, like I found out as content manager today, looking at comments on our website, for example, or even on social, we can look at that, find story ideas, like with the buses in Barrow County. That's something that we could look at. Did I say that right, Barrow? Barrow. Oh my gosh, why can't I get that right?
That's okay. It's
yeah.
a good idea. So.
Yeah. Anyways, that's something we can look into definitely on Wednesday, and then I'll start brainstorming ways as content manager that we can really rely on what our audience is interested in and where engagement is going on social
Yeah,
media.
give us some pointers on what you see people are engaging with, and so, but you know, Marissa, you're the boss, you're the producer, so you keep an eye on the stories and you know, try to engage with other people if you see that there are opportunities to complement stories or that there are too many stories of one kind. Just take a look now that you know what producing a show means and what the challenges you experience if you don't have that right mix and variety of content. Although the three of you did brilliantly, our leadership team today, really, really impressed with everyone, but I'm just looking ahead. What do we want to work on for Wednesday? We really want to focus on what's trending, what works with our audience, see if we can follow up a story, and really focus on our counties, really focus on the people you're covering and what's happening there, and contact them, because you won't hear the interesting stories necessarily if you don't talk to them. You won't see them written up. You won't know the story that nobody has told yet if you don't talk to them. So make it a point to do that tomorrow for Wednesday, and then, you know, for next week. Make this like a habit, like brushing your teeth. I have to check in with my county people at least once or twice a week.
Also, while I'm thinking about it, we'll definitely have an update on Wednesday for the Bethel housing story, or Bethel Homes. So anybody who wants that for Wednesday, I can try to go to the commission meeting tomorrow night. But if a reporter wants that at TV MMJ or Digital MMJ, I definitely recommend going. There's definitely going to be some residents there speaking out about it, and then also commissioners are going to be voting on it. So.
And Marissa, what about your Houston story?
So are you still planning on working on that one? I think Bailey's going to take it just because it is my beat for the commission, but I'll be here producing, and she can go to the meeting that they're having. They're actually having 2 meetings, so that way we can get authentic information from there about exactly what's happening.
And reaction of people who are there, very important.
Because they're both sides to that story. Some people are very upset, some are
you
not.
can still develop this story further, because it's not going away, and then you have this, you know, archive to pull from, the things that she's going to get for you. So that's a story you can keep following up. And I think I see that as a multimedia story as well. And the other thing that we decided that with the digital content, we're going to give at least one person more time to develop, again, rich digital content with video and graphics and long form. So that's another new thing for us to consider as we move forward. So we did, I think the challenges always make us grow. Like last week we were missing 3 people. We made the most of that challenge. And this week we started with a different challenge, and we still, I think we grew from that, and I'm really, really happy and proud. Wanted to give you guys a chance to share with us any ideas you got from your experience today, anything, any way we can do things better, anything that worked very well that we should keep in mind and keep doing because it worked well. Just anything you noticed, anything you want to share with us?
One thing I will say with the smart board that we've learned is slideshows work a little bit better than just uploading videos or pictures to a Google Drive. Google Drive can be a little bit fidgety on a smart board, so if we upload pictures or video, well, we can't really do it as much as video, but particularly pictures if you're wanting to slide through data or information or graphics, whatever.
Yeah, with Wangeshi it really worked well. And then with Isaiah it worked well because the way he was like struggling. He said, I can't find a brain. How do I need a brain. And I need a healthy brain and I need an Alzheimer's. So what do? And you know, I told him, go to MGN. You always think MGN, we have this, you can use for free images and you can find a lot of things, like he found his healthy and Alzheimer's brain on MGN. So when I was producing shows for a small TV station in Chicago, that's what I was doing. We had MGN, we had CNN Newsource. We were paying for these 2 subscriptions, and it's very helpful. MGN for, OTSs, over the shoulder, for, graphics, for whatever, and CNN Newsource for archive. If you're doing a reader and you don't have B-roll, go there and see. They might have some if it's a story of the day. So that can really enrich our content. Don't forget we have MGN and that we have CNN Newsource. I don't think we use it enough. We have to use those sources also. Even when you're doing a regular package, you can complement with some B-roll. You never know. You could find some weather stuff. You could find, you never know what you can find to complement. But
you can go.
No, I was about to say, like they have a lot of motion graphics and like really nice displays and visuals for sports and like whatever you need or whatever like that. I was surprised. I didn't know they had all of that, but they had a lot on there, so definitely something that you should look at. And I'm gonna look at more.
We just, we have so many things that, sometimes we don't think that we can use. And I think we discovered a lot of little things like that can move us forward. But despite those technical things right off the top of the show, it was just like,
So I think it's a good thing we came in and had our packages in today because we were having a lot of technical issues. Like CAN this morning was just not working the way it needed to, and then with the TriCaster and clips not playing correctly, that was also really confusing. Hello.
Jada, wonderful. Thank you very much. I think you deserve
a little applause.
Thank you.
So I think it's good that we had everything in there because I know at least I was around 4:30 not as stressed as I didn't feel it was as stressful in here as it usually is. And I think that's because we had everything in when we were supposed to, which is good because we did have technical issues.
Yeah, very good. Just one thing. Remember what we talked about when we talked about anchoring? Always assume that your mic is hot. Your mic was hot when you tossed to your package, during the package. And we heard just a little bit. It was nothing embarrassing. Okay. But always, always think of yourself as being on camera.
So when you tossed back to Katie, we heard you just sort of sigh, which isn't like, it wasn't awful, but just take note of.
Don't worry, it wasn't anything that embarrassed you or whatever, but next, it might be a place where you make a comment or something.
And that's our show.
Yes. So